Okay, it's time to start. So, for the past few weeks, past week really, we've been talking. Okay, for the past few weeks, we've been talking about weight. And I got to be here last week and we did some things on weight, and I heard you guys did some things with envelopes. So who can tell me, how do we weigh things? Go ahead. Okay, so you can weigh things with balance scales. How else, Danny?
You can use it with a seesaw.
A seesaw? Absolutely. Jackie?
I'm Jack.
Jack, sorry. I was close.
My mom has something that we measure our suitcases and how heavy I am, and we like step on this thing. And then once the zeros appear, we step on it and then it's taller.
Excellent. So that would be like a scale, right?
Yeah, that shows you how many.
It shows you how many pounds. There's Jackie right in front of me. How about that? Okay, so I have a question. What's heavier, a car or a mouse?
A car.
Of course. How did you know?
Because the car is way bigger.
But how? Tell me how. Let me see your hands. Andrew, how do you know a car is heavier than a mouse?
Since once you balance it, the car's going to be on the ground, and then the car might break.
So you're saying you can weigh it, or we can just say we just know because I can guess that a car weighs a couple thousand pounds. And I can guess that a mouse doesn't weigh a couple thousand pounds. A mouse probably weighs one, right?
Or it can be a toy car.
It could be a toy car. It could, definitely. Okay, I would like, Andrew, you have something? What?
What's heavier, a pound of steel or a pound of feather?
This is a very big trick question, and it's a good one. A pound of steel or a pound of feathers?
Feathers.
Raise your hand if you think a pound of feathers weighs more than the pound of steel. Raise your hand if you think a pound of steel weighs more than a pound of feathers. And raise your hand if you think 1 pound of anything weighs the same as 1 pound of anything.
You just said you.
That's okay. He figured it out as we were going along. He changed his mind. This isn't a test. So a pound of anything is going to weigh the same as a pound of anything, whether it's steel or feathers. That's a trick question. You know that. Were you trying to stump me?
Yeah, I just heard it from Mrs. Havel.
Mrs. Havel, that's a good question.
She tricked me.
I know. I've fallen for it before. I know. Okay. So I wasn't here on the day when you guys did your envelopes. Is there anyone here who could give me a quick recap of what you did with your envelopes? Who could do it? Jack? Tell me what you did with the envelopes.
We weighed them.
Oh, you weighed them. How did you weigh them?
By a balance scale.
You use a balance scale? Did you ever weigh them using just your hand?
No.
Like, were you able to tell?
Yes.
Oh, you were able to tell. So you could kind of guess, like, I think this one's a little heavier, right? Because remember on the scale, remember the teeter-totter, like, whoa, this one's heavier. You could kind of pretend that your hands were a scale, right? Okay. Turn and talk to your neighbor about what you thought about weighing and doing the envelope, the mystery envelope process. Like, how did you figure out how to put them in order?
You got me. You got me.
Someone, you can turn and talk to me. Sam, talk to Jack. You can talk with us. So when you weighed them, how did you put them in order?
We did it actually by you weighed them.
Oh, you weighed cubes. Awesome. Okay, in 3, 2, 1. Attention back here. Awesome, guys. You did that so well. So I heard a lot of people talking about using the balance scales that you made, right? So you weighed them. You could feel them, and you could make a prediction, right? You could guess which one weighed more, and then you could weigh it against cubes, and you could tell if the cubes were more or less. Who can tell me? Well, let's see. Jack, when you were talking about getting on the scale at home or measuring your luggage for your flight, How do you weigh that? What do you know what the term is? Like, do you know what you're looking for? Like, if somebody asked you, hey Jack, how much do you weigh? What would you say?
I would just grab my thing to weigh me, and then I would see how heavy I am, and then
What would that number tell you on the scale?
probably 60 pounds because.
Nope, there's the word.
you-
Who heard it?
Pounds.
Pounds. So pounds is a way we can measure. So Jack weighs 60 pounds. If you were a piece of luggage, Jack, I'd have to pay extra for you because you'd be over the 50-pound limit. But that's okay. I'm not going to have to pay extra for you. So, pounds. Pounds is what we call a standard unit of measurement. Okay? And a unit of measurement is how we measure how much something weighs. So we can weigh in pounds. We can weigh, anyone else have any ideas? Bobby?
So you have to pay extra for yourself?
Just like ounces, maybe? Ounces? Would that be another one?
That's two.
Stephen, tell me.
Kilograms and grams.
Kilograms and grams. Oh my goodness, you are really on this. So that is what we call, and milligrams. Oh my gosh, you guys are talking really small weights here. That is what we call a standard unit of measurement. Okay?
I'm trapped.
Who knows? Raise your hand if you know what a non-standard unit of measurement is. Do you remember what we did in class last week when who did I measure? Was it Eva? It was you, Andrew? Okay. How did I measure you? It was Eva. Eva, how did I measure you? By hands. Does anyone know why this isn't a standard unit of measurement? This is a big one. This is a guess. Go ahead, Helen.
Because everyone's hand is not the same size.
Oh, you got it. You nailed it.
measured with students.
So that's called non-standard because we all have different size hands. We all have different size feet. Who can tell me what happened when you guys were measuring with paper clips? Was that Tuesday? You were measuring with paper clips, and one of you got big paper clips, one of you got small paper clips, and then a group got mixed paper clips.
Well, we got
What happened?
We got the big paper clip.
You got the big? Who got the mixed?
We got the mix. We got the mix. You got the mix. No,
Elliot?
Oh yeah, you were there.
Tell me about what happened when you got the mixed paper clips.
We had to pick one.
You had to pick one because they weren't the same. Okay, you guys really have a handle on this. I am really impressed. Non-standard and standard units of measurement is a very big concept, and I'm very proud of you, how far you've come. So I have this book called Millions to Measure. And we are going to read just a little portion of it because it gets into a whole bunch of different kind of measurement, like volume and all sorts of different stuff. So let's just read a couple pages about millions to measure. There are millions of things and many ways to measure. Let's fly back in time and see how people measured many things years ago. Okay, so we're going to hop in the hot air balloon and go back to time. When prehistoric people held a race, they had to think about distance. Ready, set, hold on. How far should we run? They wanted to know about size and weight. Dad, how tall am I? Ma, how heavy is my little hog? How many of you have little hogs at home as your pets? Not anymore.
I have one.
Okay, traders had questions about volume. How much juice will fit in that jug? And a bright idea was needed. Ready, set, measure. We'll use our feet. And so people use their feet to measure distance. It's 1,000 feet to that rock. Ready, set, go!
Go.
But measuring in feet could cause confusion. You, my boy, are 4 feet tall. Look at what he's doing. Can you see this picture? He's using his feet to measure.
1 foot is
My dad says I'm 4 feet tall. And this little boy's shorter than the other boy, and he says, no way, I'm 3 feet tall. This is so confusing, right? Because feet come in different sizes. Measured by my mom's humongous feet, you are only 2 feet tall. To measure weight, people use stones. My darling hog weighs 50 stones. What can you tell me about this balance here? Anybody raise your hand and tell me what you can tell me about it. Jack, what do you think?
It's a pan balance.
It's a pan balance, and what can you tell me about how it's...
It's made by logs.
It's made by logs. What can you tell me about the pig and the 50 stones? What does that? Not
Equal.
it's equal. So that means that our pan balance is balanced.
It's as heavy as.
As heavy as. I love it. Great job. But stones come in different sizes. My huggable hippo also weighs 50 pounds. Can a huggable hippo also equal 50 pounds if my little hog weighs 50 pounds? No, because his stones are bigger. How many seeds could a container hold? That's one way volume was measured, but some seeds are tiny and others are huge. So once again, measurements could mean mix-ups.
I can't see.
Sorry, babe. 841, 842, 843. She's counting her seeds. But this guy's counting seeds. 200,001, 200,002. There must be a better way. Time for another bright idea. Let's fly forward in time. Fernanda, you got a question? What is it, hon?
Once I saw on TV, I was watching George, and we measured with shoes.
You measured with shoes? I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Kings, queens, sultans, sheiks, and chiefs solved the problem of measuring with feet of different sizes. From now on, they declared, only 1 foot would be used throughout the land. And the little king says, hear ye, behold the royal foot. Foot-length rulers were made. See that my subjects measure with nothing else. So when you're good to go to measure, he's telling his people, you only measure with my ruler is what it's called. It's a foot. Standards were also set for weight and volume. This iron block weighs 1 pound. Use this pound and no others. Today we weigh our queen mother. So the queen is on the block, and they are trying to weigh her with the iron blocks, which each weigh what? 1 pound.
How much is it?
Behold the royal cup. All volume should be measured with this size cup and no other. 1 cup of mustard on 1 royal hot dog. 2 cups of pepperoni on the royal pizza. Okay, so there we talk about more rulers. Okay, I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. Here we go. We go to weight. We usually measure weight in pounds. Jello weighs 8 pounds. I believe Jello is the cat. Robert weighs 65 pounds.
That's my dad's says. That's
And so does Sandro. So Sandro's 65, Robert's 65, and Jello weighs 8. However, if Sandro goes up to be an Olympic heavyweight wrestler, he might weigh 260 pounds. Look at how Sandro grew up. Wow, Sandro, go for the gold. But Sandro would be a pushover for Hercules, the huggable hippo, whose weight is figured in tons. A ton is 2,000 pounds. Hercules weighs more than 3 tons. Good try, Sandro, but Hercules here gets the gold. What if Sandro shrinks? If he dwindles to less than a pound, we would measure his weight in ounces. There are 16 ounces in a pound, and the bird weighs 1 ounce. If we are weighing something even lighter, we would use fractions of an ounce. Remember, who was telling me about kilograms and milligrams and grams? That's a really small measurement. So that's a standard unit of measurement. And what they're saying here is this spider weighs 1/10 of an ounce. That's like weighing nothing, right?
weighing half an inch, not even like my whole nail.
Oh my goodness. So this was a really good explanation, I thought, of what a non-standard object, how we would weigh non-standard units against standard units.
that book. I want to keep reading it.
Maybe we will finish it later. Okay. But right now, we have to put on our thinking caps. Everybody put on your thinking cap. Doop. Okay. We are going to put on our thinking caps, and we're going to compare the weights of 2 items. So we did this last week. Remember, we weighed the weight of 2 different things. We had a stapler. We had a tape dispenser. We measured 2 things. Today, we're going to put on our thinking caps and take it one step farther, and we're going to weigh 3 things.
50.
Okay, so we're going to weigh, like, I'm going to weigh Jackie, then I'm going to weigh Yara, and then I'm going to weigh myself. And you're going to be able to tell who weighs more without even having to weigh Yara. Oh, you think? I think you're right. Okay, let's go back to our desk. We're going to start on the smartboard, on the Elmo. I'm going to put the page